All right, let's jump right in. Today on The Explainer, we're unpacking something truly fascinating: the genetic divide, evolution of the biological caste system. We're going to fast forward just a few decades down the road to the year 2050, and we're looking at this wild scenario. What happens when human evolution stops being driven by nature and starts being driven by technology? It's a massive shift. If you're a focused learner looking to understand where future tech and society collide, you are in the exact right place. We're going to break down how the literal fabric of our biology could completely divide us. So, what if money could literally buy evolution? Think about it. For all of human history, evolution has been this incredibly slow, mostly random process, right? Like none of us gets to pick our genetic starting line. But we are looking at a total paradigm shift here. Imagine dropping right into a future where you don't climb the evolutionary ladder over millennia of adaptation. You just buy your way up. What actually happens to a society when survival of the fittest gets completely replaced by survival of the wealthiest? It's an intense question, and to find the answer, we need to look at the environment that makes this possible. Welcome to the world in 2050. We're looking at an era where unimaginable technological leaps completely blur the lines. I mean, the boundary between biology and machinery, between natural human limits and engineered perfection, it's practically gone. But to really grasp how this world operates, we have to look under the hood at the mechanics of these futuristic upgrades. That brings us to the two foundational pillars of this new reality: CRISPR and cybernetic enhancements. These are the technologies utilized in 2050 to artificially upgrade human biology and cognition. Now, you probably already know the basics, but the crucial thing here is how they function together. CRISPR is the absolute pinnacle of gene editing, literally artificially rewriting human DNA to wipe out disease or boost physical traits. And then you have cybernetic enhancements on the hardware side. We're talking high IQ neural chips seamlessly integrated right into the brain to massively boost how fast you can process information. In this 2050 scenario, these aren't just sci-fi concepts. They are the concrete tools driving artificial human upgrades. So, who actually gets their hands on these tools? Well, we're talking about upgrading the elite. For the ultra-wealthy, perfect health engineering becomes a tangible reality. They're using CRISPR to edit out genetic diseases, potentially halt aging, and basically ensure this physically flawless existence. Then you slap in those high IQ neural chips for unparalleled memory and processing speed. Put that together, and they are quite literally purchasing evolutionary leaps. These biological upgrades become the ultimate premium commodity. If you have the immense wealth required, you're buying your way straight up the food chain. And that naturally leads us to this incredibly stark comparison: the enhanced billionaire versus the baseline human. On one hand, you've got these perfectly healthy, cognitively superior people engineered for absolute success. And on the other hand, the rest of humanity. Take a second and honestly ask yourself, where would you fit into this world? Because if these upgrades cost billions, the vast majority of us remain exactly as we are today. The playing field isn't just uneven anymore. Actually, scratch that. It's not even the same playing field. It is structurally, biologically rigged. The divide isn't just about what car you drive. It is literally woven into their DNA. When you break down the traits side by side, the differences are just staggering. Take health, for example. The enhanced have this engineered perfection, while baseline humans are stuck with, well, natural susceptibility to disease and aging. Then look at intelligence. You've got high IQ chips granting limitless cognitive processing on one side, stacked up against our standard, natural, biological limits on the other. And in terms of evolution, it's accelerated tech-driven leaps versus a stagnant, slow crawl. The gulf between these two groups becomes absolute. Baseline humans. Man, it is such a sterile, almost clinical term, isn't it? In 2050, it basically means you are operating on a legacy biological system. It's not trying to run today's most demanding software on a smartphone from 2010. You're just not optimized for the world anymore. It highlights this brutal reality where folks without immense wealth are left completely behind. You aren't just economically disadvantaged, you are disadvantaged on a cellular level. Standard biology just becomes this permanent marker of lower socioeconomic status, which brings us to the core of this whole concept: the biological caste system. In this scenario, wealth strictly dictates biology. Your bank account literally determines your physical and mental capabilities. And because this widening socioeconomic gap becomes virtually impossible to cross, we're looking at the potential emergence of two distinct human species. I mean, if the elite are exponentially smarter and live these perfectly healthy, extended lives, how does a baseline human even begin to compete for resources or power? The technological divergence is so extreme that they might not even share the same fundamental human experience anymore. So, the ultimate question we have to ask ourselves is this:
Is this the end of human equality? If the whole idea of equality is built on this foundational premise that we are all basically created equal, what happens when that is just no longer biologically true? When society fractures into an engineered elite and the baseline masses, the very foundation of equality is challenged in a way we have literally never seen before. It's a massive, profound dilemma about where our tech is taking us. I'll leave you to ponder that one, what it truly means to be human in the age of purchased evolution. Thanks for hanging out with me on this explainer, and definitely keep questioning the future.